right, welcome to Talking Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. Today, I want to talk about Marathon Digital Holdings, stock ticker MARA. They are a Bitcoin mining company. They put out their quarterly report. I want to go through that quarterly report. I want to take a look at April that happened after that, and we're going to take a sneak peek look at May as well. There's an unbelievable amount of information that was thrown at us here on Marathon, so I want to go through all of that. And Marathon is set to break a lot of records, so I want to go through their bull case scenario and their bear case scenario and tell you my thoughts, from soup to nuts here, but I'll try and go as fast as I can. Okay, so let's get started. So first of all, Marathon's trading at $9.47 in the middle of the trading day today. It's up a couple of percent, so we'll see where it ends the day. But in general, this puts them at about a $1.58 billion market cap. Several companies are showing this information on their website now. I do appreciate this. I wish all the Bitcoin miners would show their latest and greatest information on their website. So what we can see here is shares outstanding, 167.25 million. Later, we're going to talk about how they got to this 167 million shares and what that means. I'd like to look at the market cap of this company over time. So you're going to see in November of 2021, when Bitcoin hit its all-time high, so that was quite a while ago. That was more than a year and a half ago now. This was a $7.5 billion market cap company. However, I will tell you, 2023 is a very, very different year than 2022. This company is now operating where they once were falling short. So I'm going to go through a lot of that in detail because I do think even at $1.5 billion, there's an awful lot of room for upside in this stock if they can continue and give us just a few more quarters doing what they're doing. Okay, so let's get to their quarterly update. So total Bitcoin produced 2,195. In the same quarter last year, they produced 1,259. That's a 74% increase. But more importantly, by far more importantly to me, if you look at prior quarter comparisons, in this quarter they did 2,195. In the last quarter, which was Q4 of 2022, they did 1,562 Bitcoin. So that's a 41% increase quarter over quarter. And what I will tell you is that I think the next quarter that's coming up, they're poised to do maybe another 40+% increase quarter over quarter. So this is drastic growth. This is the growth they talked about all year in 2022, but it did not happen. So they're now starting to create a track record of doing what they say they're going to do. I think there's a very big turnaround here, and I don't think the stock has priced it in yet. Okay, operational energized hash rate, 11.5. Last year at the same time, they were at 3.9 exahash. They're going to continue at a very rapid growth pace until they get where they're going, and it now looks highly likely to me that they are going to get to this 23 exahash they've been talking about for really the last year or year and a half. And again, I would like to see a few more monthly operational updates in a row go the right way, but they've put several together that I think have been very good. May already is shaping up to look outstanding. So, if May, June, July look good, I'm going to really believe they should be very near their goal at that point. Okay, so this is their balance sheet that they just put out in this quarter ended March 31st, 2023. So you're going to see $124 million in cash, digital assets $189 million. That number continues to grow as they add, this is all Bitcoin. So as they add to their Bitcoin stack and as Bitcoin continues to go up in price, this just goes up and up. But even at March 31st, they had $386 million in current assets. And I want to show you that is against total current liabilities of $23 million. So their current ratio is absolutely unbelievable. This is one of the best current ratios of any company you're going to find out there anywhere. So they are in no danger whatsoever from a cash flow situation. They're extremely healthy financially. Okay, they go on to say, in addition to our energized progress, we also improved our financial position during the quarter. We increased our cash position by $12 million, reduced our debt by $50 million, and increased our unrestricted Bitcoin holdings by $3,132. They were at a point maybe 4 or 5 months ago where they were risking basically their entire stack of Bitcoin being restricted against some of these short-term loans that they took out. Well, they say they decreased their debt by $50 million, and in some way they've basically completely eliminated their debt. So let's go back to the balance sheet and take a look at that real quick. Term loans, you're going to see zero. So they had about $49.8 million in term loans outstanding at the end of the last quarter. They just said they paid that $50 million-ish off. That's now zero. So those were actually short-term loans that were restricting their Bitcoin. Those loans are now gone, paid in full. So why do I say they basically have no debt left when they have $733 million of notes payable? Here's why. These notes are at 1% interest, and there's zero principal due in 2023, zero principal due in 2024, and zero principal due in 2025. So these notes mature in 2026, and they are convertible. So this will very likely, if Marathon gets to where they're going and they succeed and Bitcoin stays healthy, this is going to convert in all likelihood to equity. So they're paying 1% interest, which is, it is something, but it's a small percentage of their revenue. So again, this goes to their strength of balance sheet. This leaves them in a very strong position. I want to take a look at the April operational report because it gives some insight as to just how close they're getting to their goal of 23 exahash. Okay, so this came out on May 2nd, just, a couple of weeks ago. Operational energized hash rate. This was now up to 14. So remember, at March 31st, it was 11. And then beyond that, they're saying installed hash rate is 17.9. So on their conference call on May 10th, they did say they're already over 18 exahash on installed hash rate at this point. So they continue to get towards, remember, they're only looking to get to 23. So, adding 2 or 3 exahash a month, they're going to get there very quickly. So it does look like this has become an extremely realistic goal. And in fact, in my opinion, it's now imminent. But that is one of the main things I'm going to want to see. In their May report, their June report, and their July report, by the end of July, I expect them to be knocking on the door of 23 exahash. They said they were going to get there by the middle of the year, so we should see some strong evidence of that, and you will see that May is going to be a very good month for them. But having said that, if we look at Bitcoin mined by company for April, we'll still see that even though they mined less than they did in March, you can see they were still in first place out of all the publicly traded Bitcoin mining companies. So they were still in first place. Now, in May, if we look at their pool, you're going to see they are on pace to destroy this number. So a 40 or 50% increase in May, I think, is highly likely. It could end up being even much better than that, but I think it is absolutely fair to say that unless something goes horribly wrong, they will be mining over 1,000 Bitcoin, and it could be well over 1,000 Bitcoin. Okay, so if we go to their income statement, what I want to show you is basically they had $51 million of revenue. That's going to go up dramatically because, as we talked about, their production is going up and up and up, and Bitcoin's price has gone up quite a bit since December 31st. So I think it's going to go up around maybe 80 million, maybe more. Now, on the conference call, Fred did say one thing, and I want to talk about this. Their cost of revenue, if you do the math, it was about $15,000 in the first quarter of 2023. One of the things Fred did indicate on the conference call was, this was about a 65% gross profit margin. So he did seem to indicate that he thought the cost per coin was going to go up over time as the difficulty level increased, but he did think they would be able to maintain somewhere around a 67% gross profit margin. So that's what I'm expecting. I appreciate them giving that information, because one of the key things is trying to understand their cost. So he basically did say, because of the way that their business is, their cost per coin is a little bit higher than a lot of their competitors, but remember, they don't have the massive amount of cash investments on the vertical integration side of things from an infrastructure standpoint. And their actual costs of infrastructure will be lower than their competition. So while as this cost will be lower, their cost per coin may be a little higher than average, but as long as they can maintain, a 65 or a 67% gross profit margin prior to their depreciation expense, that's going to be a very healthy company because, again, their top line should continue to grow and grow and grow. But this is why they're also very reliant on the price of Bitcoin. If Bitcoin can stay healthy or get into a bull market, as they continue to mine more Bitcoin per month, if the price of Bitcoin goes up, this top line is going to go up dramatically. So if they can maintain that gross profit margin of 65 to 67%, they're going to be throwing off more and more cash flow. So that should be enough cash to pay for all of their overhead, all of their interest expense, and be cash flow positive past all of that. So that's where they're looking to get. And it looks to me like 2023 is going to be the year that they get there. They did issue 21 million shares in their market offerings. I do think this has a lot to do with this. Marathon Digital Holding and 02 to develop and operate the first large-scale immersion Bitcoin mining facility in Abu Dhabi. So this is a partnership with the UAE, and they did need to put some cash up for this. So I do believe that's why they issued some at-the-market offering. Now, I haven't even talked about this in any of their other numbers. So this is going to be above and beyond the 23 exahash that they're working on in the United States. So this is another project. This could grow into a big piece of their puzzle later on. For now, I'm almost disregarding it, even though obviously, it is a big investment and there's a lot of potential money at stake over here on this new piece of their puzzle. Okay, with all that said, let's take a look at Marathon's chart in their stock price here. So this is Marathon on the 1-day time frame. You can see they're currently trading at around $9.50. So from their low on December 28th until right now on May 17th, they're up about over 200%. So that is a big run up. A lot of the Bitcoin miners are up over 100%, over 200%. Some are up 3 or 4 or 500% since their lows in December. So Marathon obviously has the second biggest market cap. That represents a large increase. That's a triple in their stock price. But I want to show you the other side of this equation. Back in August of 2022, Bitcoin was trading at around $25,000. So that's the last time Bitcoin hit $25,000 all the way until February of 2023. We're now at around $27,000. Also, Marathon was at one of their all-time low production levels. June, July, August, their production got down very near zero. One of those months, they had 73 Bitcoin produced in the month. And remember, in May, it's highly likely they're going to produce over 1,000 Bitcoin. So this is a much bigger, much better company at this point, whereas execution was a gigantic question mark in August of 2022 as they scaled down their existing operations and were yet to begin to scale up their new operations. They're now in the exact opposite situation. They're highly scaled, and it looks like they're getting closer and closer to the finish line. This price target is my 2023 price target. So again, this is not financial advice, and you guys can set your own price targets. I do actually think they could get substantially higher than this in 2023 if Bitcoin remains healthy and if Marathon continues to execute and they get to that 23 exahash sometime in the third or fourth quarter of 2023. Their production should be up at a huge level. If they can maintain those gross profit margins, they could do even substantially more than this. So to me, this is a very modest price target in my opinion. So I'm gonna leave the price targets at that. You guys can figure out your own price targets. And again, this is not financial advice. You can see these are highly, highly volatile stocks. Marathon is a highly volatile stock, right? We've already been up 200% this year. If Bitcoin was not to stay healthy, if we move back into a bear market or a crypto winter and or Marathon fails to operate, it would be a 67% move to the downside to retest their lows. So as always, a lot of risk, a lot of reward. So please be very careful. So that's my update on Marathon. I am personally bullish on this company, but let me know in the comments what you guys think. So thanks for watching. If you're not yet subscribed to the channel, please remember to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next video.